Hello everyone, it's Gilvo. And today I'm gonna be rambling about Pokemon. Specifically, the future of Pokemon, my hopes for Scarlet and Violet, Gen 9, and further ahead, hopefully. Pokemon is interesting. It's older than me somehow, and it's kind of depressing to know that I'm younger than Pokemon. It's a winning formula that has been working forever since Gen 1, since the time for Pokemania, and it has resulted in a bit of a problem. It might be controversial, but since the 3DS era and since the transition to 3D, the success of this formula has made Game Freak and the Pokemon Company slightly complacent. They haven't really, since Gen 5, which was obviously a lot of people share this opinion, peak Pokemon, they haven't really put in as much soul and effort into their new games. And that's not to say that, not to put down the work of everyone working on Sword and Shield and all of the new Pokemon games, but it's just, it doesn't feel the same anymore. And it's hard to see that because I grew up with Pokemon and I have a personal emotional attachment to the franchise. I have to admit it. So it's hard for me seeing the decay of a franchise that I really love. But I'm hopeful now because of Legends Arceus. Even back, to me, it's always felt safe. A Pokemon game is always gonna be at least okay, you know? The formula is there, and the formula is always gonna work. As long as they don't deviate or they don't drop the ball too hard. So, even when Gen 8 was announced and everything was looking kind of rough for Sword and Shield, I always had this feeling that it was gonna be okay. It was gonna be fine. And lo and behold, when Sword and Shield were released, it was fine. They were subpar games, but still, they were pretty okay. They were still enjoyable. A lot of people bought them, and a lot of people played them. A lot of people bought the DLC, hoping it would fix a lot of stuff. It kinda did, kinda didn't. Another letdown, kind of, but it still worked. And there's a lot of things that people are now, after a lot of time of perspective, years of perspective, are kind of liking about Gen 8. Specifically, there's stuff that I personally don't care too much about, which is the human character design. A lot of people are really liking it, and they clearly know what they're doing. I don't necessarily like that the direction they're taking it, but I'm not. The games aren't made just for me, you know. So it's good that other people have other stuff to latch onto. For me personally, I just like cool, cute new Pokemon. Basically, building up the world and the pseudo fantasy biology that goes into everything. Pseudo evolution, pseudo science, semi realistic biology, and basically just zoology. I love animals, and I love fictional animals with superpowers and weird world-ending abilities. So I really like that aspect of Pokemon. And I love when Pokemon designs and Pokedex entries and all that kind of stuff really flesh out something slightly realistic to what the Pokemon are. And that's so much fun to me. So what I like is just going through a game and seeing these Pokemon interact with other Pokemon through battling, and of course seeing their evolutions and becoming stronger, and eventually me and a full team of friends, little creature friends, becoming the champions and saving the world or some shit. Most of the time, well, I hope the evil organizations get a little bit better. The evil teams are kinda annoying lately. I really like that they're just punks or dumbasses, but it's not the same. I miss Team Rocket. I miss this mafia, these criminals just doing it for the money. And I also like just insane people that for some reason want to do something with the world, and just crazy psychopaths that want to, I don't know, flood the entire earth or destroy the world to bring another one with no human spirit or whatever. They don't make sense. They're kooky and they're over the top, and I like it. And it's better than just guys and just guys, just annoying people. Now, the other main thing I really like about Pokemon is the competitive scene. I am not personally, I don't compete, and I'm not a professional epic gamer, but I really enjoy the competitive aspect and the serious stuff, the real battling between people, not against just AI, and the fun strategies and the different aspects that make a Pokemon viable. And I really like one of the coolest things to me about competitive Pokemon is when you can put in Pokemon that aren't specifically viable, either for a tier or a format in BGC, and put in work with them. Find a way to make kinda weak Pokemon work. And that is so much fun to me. Creating different strategies, building a team around weak Pokemon to make them put in work, and actually being able to stand up to big metagame threats. That's very fun to me. And also just abusing good stuff too. Giving them the competitive aspect and the battling prowess and the viability gives Pokemon so much personality to me. I don't think about a Pokemon without thinking at least a little bit about their competitive viability. Like, it genuinely affects my perception of a Pokemon. For example, I used to not like Landorus too much, and then when I started getting into competitive Pokemon, I started liking him more and more because of how extremely good it is. And now it's got this personality to me, this intimidate, gigantic threat, always looming, always ready to come in and destroy your plans. And now, after years of being into competitive Pokemon, I'm starting to hate him. He's everywhere. I hate Lando. but it's very fun. It's fun for me to just associate this pseudo biology that I really like with competitive and with battling prowess and with the move pools and everything that goes into making a Pokemon viable. And now it's the perfect time to plug what is coming soonish to the channel, which is gonna be a huge undertaking that I'm gonna be taking. I'm gonna be going over every single aspect of competitive Pokemon, and specifically going over every Pokemon and revitalizing it, and trying to make them competitively viable. Either by changing their move pools, revamping or giving them different abilities, or, their base stats. Simply going over buffs of weaker Pokemon and going over stronger Pokemon as well, to make them even more fun to use. So that's gonna be coming to the channel real soon. It's gonna be. I am very excited to go over that stuff. So maybe if you want to see that, hopefully you can stick around. The thing is, now, after Pokemon Lengends Arceus, the entire franchise seems revitalized. Everybody seems to love Lengends Arceus because it took a risk. It changed the formula slightly, and we're so starved for new things that it feels refreshing. But it's also actually kind of good. It's really fun to just see and go around a world filled with Pokemon and seeing the consequences of stuff, and especially seeing the past. A time in the world where Pokemon weren't friends to humanity. They were just starting to be part of society. During the events of Lengends Arceus, people are terrified of Pokemon, and with good reason. They are lethal weapons. Every single one of them could level a city if it wanted to. And that's what makes it very weird that they just hand them out to 10-year-olds, and they go on an adventure alone, unsupervised, with basically guns or nukes. It's very fun. I really like it. It's the kind of stuff that just makes me laugh, and seeing it on an earlier stage where people were rightfully afraid of Pokemon, it was fun. And the open world aspect, not semi-open world, was really cool. Seeing Pokemon interact with their environment in the overworld, and just having different, like Pokedex entries, for example, reenacted in real time. For example, if you are next to a Blissey or Chansey and you're injured, they're gonna come near you and heal you. And that's so cute, that's so cool. It's constantly mentioned that Pokemon line, that evolution line, the Chansey line, constantly goes around helping people and healing them. And it's so cool to actually see it, you know? I really like it. I really hope there's some huge gameplay changes, like being able to change moves at any point, having the Pokemon just know the moves and remember the moves, and being mixing the the move reminder and the move remover, I guess, move deleter and the move tutor all in one, and having them just having you being able to switch around movesets, that gives the Pokemon so much potential to help you on a playthrough. And I really hope that Gen 9 keeps this. Everything seems to point into that direction, that Scarlet and Violet are gonna very much be just Lengends Arceus. And I hope that's not the case, but at the same time, I really hope that they keep a lot of the good stuff. I don't want Pokemon from now on to just be Lengends Arceus. I want Lengends Arceus to be its own thing, but I won't complain if Pokemon takes the good things out of Lengends Arceus. Like, I would be happy if every Pokemon game from now on is an open world game. I wouldn't complain about that. I would love it. And I would also love overworld catching and all that kind of stuff. And especially the move reminder. And I hope that kind of stuff is kept. And Gen 9 looks so cool. Gen 9 looks like what people wanted Sword and Shield to look like, to be. This revolutionizing Pokemon game. Lengends Arceus was that already, but it was weird because it was in the past and it was so different. Now, Gen 9, Scarlet and Violet are adapting that into the main series games, and that's gonna be pretty cool. I hope, as always, I just want new, cool, cute little Pokemon. I want to see the world fleshed out. I am very interested in what they can come up with Pokemon designs for, the region is clearly, apparently, inspired by the Iberian Peninsula, which has a lot of cool fauna and a lot of cultural things that can also be mixed in there. I love when they mix like real world culture with animals, and it's gonna be fun. I hope that they do a good job about that. And specifically, the only thing we've seen are the starters. And it's weird that we didn't get their names from an official source, or during the reveal we had to go to an outside thing, but it's good. They are looking fine. Fuecoco is so much fire, and it's amazing. I love Fuecoco. Sprigatito is pretty good too. I love the naming schemes. This Spanish integration in the middle. We've already had some very interesting language plays with Pokemon names, but now the designs are looking cool, and Sprigatito and Fuecoco are so fun. I hope their evolutions don't let me down. Quaxley, on the other hand, I'm not a big fan of, but I understand people who like it. I hope that they don't let us down in the evolutions like they kinda did in Sword and Shield. We were all pretty hopeful when we first saw the starters. They were looking so cool. And then the final evolutions are fine. But they didn't live up to the expectations and the hype. And I think that a lot of expectation management should happen more often and stronger from the Pokemon Company and Game Freak, because announcing things too early gets Pokemon fans a lot of time to speculate and make fake designs and create this idealized image of the new games in their heads. And that's not necessarily good, because most of the time things aren't as good as you make them up to be. Or they're just different, and you're not willing to accept different than your headcanon and what you imagined. So it's hard. It's very hard. It's not an easy thing to manage, but they should put in a little bit more effort into it. Because if you don't, we're gonna have a Sword and Shield situation again, with all the Dexit and all the weird tree textures and bad animations and all that kind of stuff. So I hope that Gen 9, and overall that's more of a marketing thing, but it really affects people's perceptions of a Pokemon game, so they should put in a little bit more work on it. But in general, what I hope too, since I love the competitive sims so much, I am very much looking forward to new moves, new abilities, new interesting stuff, new items that could shake up the competitive scene. But this may be a controversial opinion, but I wish Pokemon would just stop with the gimmicks. I don't. Megas are so cool. Megas are very cool as an addition, but they weren't really healthy in my opinion. They were just boosts to already good Pokemon most of the time, and the Megas for not very good Pokemon were not very good, and there was no reason to use Mega Pidgeot over Mega Salamence, for example. So I don't like it as a gameplay mechanic. And of course, C moves were just broken and not fun at all. And Dynamax was fun. Dynamax was fun with max moves and kind of stuff, but creatively it was just Pokemon getting bigger, and that wasn't fun at all. So and they're not really healthy. I get it. They like to differentiate a gen from another and the metagame from another, but I wish they just stopped and they just went back to normal Pokemon. And that's most of the time. For example, on Showdown, Dynamax is banned, and sometimes C moves are restricted and all that kind of stuff. So in the end, we kind of have a more tame version of what the actual games are, but still, I wish they just stopped with the gimmicks and put that effort and that time into more interesting stuff. New abilities, buffs for weaker, older Pokemon, maybe new items, or just put all of that effort and time into the new Pokemon and the new region and everything else. I think that the gimmicks are a waste of development time and of resources that could go into making the game actually better and not just having big Pokemon. And in general, I think I really want playthroughs to be fun again. I don't. Something a lot of people, me included, hate is that going through a Pokemon game nowadays is mashing A. There's so much forced cinematics, forced dialogue, things where you're not actually playing the game. and long ass sequences, like you spend 5 to 10 minutes just mashing A because the game won't let you play the game. And it's intrusive and it's not fun. Especially since a lot of people aren't just invested in the story, and most of the time the story isn't that interesting in the first place. So yeah, I wish they just let us go. Old Pokemon, or mid Pokemon too, had a lot of dialogue, but it wasn't forced into you, and it was kind of short, and it was often leading up to battles. And nowadays it's just, oh, stop walking, have a 5-minute cutscene, and then start walking again, and it has no consequence in gameplay, and it doesn't make any sense, honestly. I want to play the game. I wanna, if you're gonna force me into a cinematic, have it lead up to a big battle, have it lead up to a rival battle, or a series of battles against the evil organization, or whatever. Anything. Just let me play the video game. God damn it. So yeah, I wish we go back to that. I hope that at some point, for example, my biggest worry is that adapting Pokemon Legends Arceus might give us just the same formula as Legends Arceus, which didn't include a lot of trainer battles. And trainer battles are the most fun thing, especially since you can just avoid wild Pokemon battles in Lengends Arceus, so you can just play a lot of the game without getting into battles, which is weird. And when you battle trainers, they have 1 or 2 Pokemon, with the exception of Bolo, but that's post-game, and that's just a Cynthia rematch. And I don't like that. I wish that doesn't happen. And I also wish that they don't keep the weird turn system. I still don't really know how the speed stat works in that game. That's more of a me problem. But I hope we go back to normal battles. Strong style and agile style are interesting. That's the kind of stuff, if they want to keep doing gimmicks, that's the kind of stuff that I would like. Very slight changes in gameplay that aren't just huge visual stuff that takes away a lot of time and resources for people, for the devs to make. In the end, just there's nostalgia to me, and I feel that older Pokemon was better than newer Pokemon, so I wish they go back and keep the good stuff. Keep the good stuff from newer Pokemon, because there's a lot of good stuff. I really like a lot of the interesting things they've done since X and Y, but there's a lot of bad stuff that was good in the older games. So basically what I'm saying is I'm a Gen 3er, and I wish they went back to that. I just, not necessarily just Gen 3, but learn from the good things. Learn from the good things, keep the good things, and don't just have the same formula. And taking away the good things and just keeping the core. That's, and slightly, slowly chipping away at the core. That's not good. Eventually, it's gonna break. So I hope that they keep the good stuff. Just revise everything. Go back to the older Pokemon games. A lot of people that were involved in the first Pokemon game and throughout the whole series are still involved in the development. So go back, look back, and take back the good things, and keep the good things from all generations. I really wish. Maybe it's a bit too much to ask, but not for me. These are just my hopes. So I want Pokemon to be better. I want Pokemon to excite me again. But yeah, I think that's enough. Thank you. If you made it this far, wow. Thank you. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.